I have been selling this book, Zanazli and Wan Chun Hong's Guide to Indie Filmmaking, which is published by MPH for a while now. It's a really good book if you want to be a filmmaker, whether it's for YouTube, social media, TV, film, cinema, whatever. This is the book to get. I'm going to make it more accessible and more affordable to all of you because I believe that everybody needs to become a filmmaker. The more filmmakers we have in the world, I think this world will be a better place to live in. Now it's available as an electronic book download on my website. I'm going to link it here. It's really cheap, it's really affordable. It's only 5 ringgit if you want to get the ebook version. Okay, 5 ringgit. It doesn't really cost much, right? It's just a little bit of something for me. I mean, it did take a lot of work to write. Each chapter of this book talks about one part of the filmmaking process. And for each chapter as well, I interview a local filmmaker. It's only 5 ringgit. It's only 5 ringgit. You're watching and listening to the FAT BIDIN Film Club, and I'm assuming I'm Zan Azli.
And I'm Shalai Ustaz.
And as usual, every week we watch a local film and we review it. And this week we are going to review a local film. And the film is called
Don Dukun.
Don Dukun. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm hungry.
Okay, so we have watched Don Dukun, and what's it about?
It's seemingly about this guy named Arif, played by Zul Arifin.
Don Arif.
Who comes from a long line of like
Dons.
Dukuns. But then his father sells chendol. It's not Dukun anymore.
Never was a Dukun, I think.
Was lah, you see when he...
No, at the beginning when they asked, how come no stories about your father? You skip a generation, is it?
I know, but anyway, okay, then... yeah, so it's about him, and then he and like 2 other sort of like mediums, I suppose you would call it. One is like a Chinese guy, Aloysius, played by Douglas Lim, who has a 3rd eye. And then there's a Dr. Divya, who's kind of like a ghostbuster. Yeah. And they all supposedly like can fight ghosts. So they are invited to some Datin's house to but sort of heal or cure the Datin's stepdaughter.
But they are actually all scammers. They're all con men, like con artists.
Colonia scammers.
Yeah.
So like that, that's what the story is about.
Yeah. So what do you think about it?
Why don't you go first?
You go first?
No, it's okay.
No, you go first. You go first.
Never mind, you can go first.
This is what I call a mainstream movie in Malaysia. Right? It has appeal for everyone. I find it very funny. It's slapstick. So if you are one of those people who think that you're too intellectual for slapstick, then maybe you won't like it. But it is extremely funny. Not everything is slapstick, because I like how they play. Because the 3 Ghostbusters, right? The 3 Dukuns, right? One's a Malay guy, one's a Chinese guy, one's an Indian lady.
Doctor.
Yeah, so they play on all the funny stereotype racial jokes when it comes to the 3 Melayu, China, India. You know, from Zul Arifin's character being like Melayu whose father wears a songkok and a misai, played by, I think, I want to say brilliantly by Yusuf Haslam, but actually it's normal only lah, the character, Yusuf Haslam's character. It's just that you haven't seen Yusuf Haslam on screen for a long time, right? And he was always a good actor, right? So seeing him on screen was nice, and he seems to be quite fit for someone that old. He can squat and stay at the squatting position for a long time and then come up without any help. Which is not something I can do. But yeah, I especially like Dr. Divya, whose whole family members are all doctors. Sit at the dining table, all talk about their doctor experience. Oh my god, it's funny. Yeah, you know, and I like how it plays around with the oh, then it'll be a spoiler. And we don't spoil films that we like. Well, no lah, it's not really a spoiler lah. It also talks about how, you know, ilmu is passed down from generation to generation, right? And like the Chinese character Douglas Lim and the Malay character Zul Arifin both are passed down to them, right? This ilmu that they have, they just don't know how to use it very well, right? And then you've got Dr. Divya, who the ilmu that is passed down is to be a doctor. Right?
Science.
Yeah, but no, to be a doctor.
No, she's a ghostbuster.
Yeah, no, but see, her family members are all medical doctors. You know, they're doctor, Divya. But she doesn't want to do that, right? And she's more into
ghostbusting.
But she says she's a doctor.
She's a
right?
ghostbuster.
But actually, she builds gadgets that can catch ghosts.
Like a ghostbuster.
Yes, I know. I was going to say he's the equivalent to Dr. Peter Venkman. In Peter Venkman and Egon Spengler, the two techies, right, in Ghostbusters. So she's kind of like equivalent to that lah. But yeah, so it kind of like, it's nice. It's funny. It's not the greatest film ever, of course. I think that the script could have been not the directing, but the script could have been a little bit tighter lah. Because if you look through the whole story, right, I think it would have been a really good 45-minute film. But it turned out to be like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. Right? So that was a little bit long because some of the dialogue that was going on didn't seem like it needed to be there. It wasn't tight. Some of the plot that brings the story forward also, like why these people are like con artists or whatever, also it's not really developed much. You know? Yeah, but it has a lot of like, it's got some good elements to it lah. Just it can be tightened a little bit more. I mean, it's not a serious film. It's not made in a serious way either. So yeah, it's not like you don't study this film for cinematic arts lah. You know, but it's fun lah.
Yeah. It wasn't that funny for me. Not because I'm an intellectual asshole, but just because I just didn't really find it that funny lah. I agree that the script could have been tighter and the characters could have been developed a little bit more. You can kind of guess already what's gonna happen when they get to the house because it's quite obvious actually.
Yeah.
I felt like the kid, right, the kid that is possessed that they're supposed to be saving, she like turns into a tiger, and I felt like that was like quite derivative of the Tiger Stripes girl. So
yeah,
the way she was acting and everything was exactly like the girl in Tiger Stripes, except that the girl in Tiger Stripes is having a period and going through puberty, and this girl is, you know, has a sucker lah. I'll tell you what I did like about the film. I liked the fact that this film centered around this guy who had mommy issues and who addressed his mommy issues with his father in a very healthy and honest way. And I also like the fact that he is also a father and he is not like a kind of loose family man, but he actually like brings that kind of like parental or whatever to his not to say he's scheming lah, but to his work and to his life, you know, like he applies the fatherhood to his life. Which I thought was very nice to see in a mainstream film about a Malay guy. Not because there haven't been like good characters or fathers out there, but it's just that in this context, even though it was kind of supposed to be a light, funny film, his character was very developed in a kind of progressive way. Like it was really representation of a new kind of man, new kind of Malay man, if you want to put it that way, that I really enjoyed. And I really enjoyed how he was crying. Basically, he cries more towards like the second half of the film, and it's like a lot of like Shah Rukh Khan type crying, right? With the tears welling up all the time in his eyes.
Over, you know.
And I was
over dramatic.
I loved it because Zul Arifin is this gigantic man, and you know, he's just crying for the second half of the film, and it's great because it really taps into like this kind of shameless vulnerability, and his dynamic with his father is also a lot kind of like that. So that's what I really liked about the film.
It reminded me of something that we can actually relate it to what's happening in real life, because remember, this is Yusuf Haslam, and he's trying to protect his son, right? Actually, in this movie, but his son doesn't get it, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually the son kind of apologized to him, correct?
Yeah.
And he accepts the apology, and he says, "I love you,"
Yeah.
right? So here's the deal: Yusuf Haslam was angry at his actual son in the media lah. What we see in the media, right? What's his son's name again? Alif Shukri? No. What?
Shafiq.
Shafiq.
No,
Shamsul.
Shafiq is the one we like.
Yeah, Shamsul had that scandal with the second wife and not wanting to see the...
He's divorced now, by the way.
Do not want to see the first wife and all that. And you know, in the media we see Yusuf Aslam and the wife saying, "Oh, kembali lah, you know, we are disappointed about you." Yeah, do the responsible thing, talking to the son, and apparently he was estranged with the parents and all that.
Yeah.
So it felt like Yusuf Aslam was playing that character, saying like, "Look, I just want my child to be I want my son to be a good person, you know. And if you do anything wrong, look, whatever you do, if you apologize, I'm your father, I will forgive you. Just be a good person." Yeah.
And clearly you are relating to this more
No,
than more than Yusuf Aslam, right?
No, I'm not relating it to it, but I find it ironic and funny.
Yeah. Anyway, that was what I really liked about the film. I liked Zul Arifin's character because in spite of all the... If you look beyond the superficiality of this like scheming and the Dawn thing and there's a real layered like character there that you know that you can follow and that you can kind of root for, and it's just kind of it was nice to see lah. So that was really what kind of held the movie together for me. And yeah, there were some parts that were like funny. It didn't completely fall flat or anything, but if you ask me what the real draw of the movie is, that is it lah. Not so much the rest of it.
Like, I like how they put the sucker thing into the story as well.
Yeah. Because
usually we talk about sucker, oh, it's shirik lah, what lah, and all that, right?
Yeah.
But this film, like, you don't take it too seriously lah, you know what I mean? It didn't take anything too seriously. From the ghost to the sucker aspect to the religious aspect. Nothing seriously, it was just fun. And then like, it became like quite heartwarming.
Yeah. It was
you know
very
what I mean?
heartwarming.
Yeah. So
yeah. I was actually at the beginning, right, when they were having, so it starts off with them at like a Bomo convention,
which was funny as hell.
I was like, how did this lepas like LPF and all this?
But they made fun of it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But then towards the end, I kind of figured out how lah, because they like, you know, Yusuf Haslam comes out and says at the end also, you know, kalau Allah ni ada jadi baru dia akan jadi.
Yeah.
And I was like,
no, but during the convention
that's
also,
how they did it. I got it.
Kan in the convention, like one of the booth owners wanted to convince somebody to buy some what tangkal or whatever, potion or cinta, what, the love potion or whatever, right? And then the guy said, benda macam ni syirik lah. Think, habis kau expect apa? Kau datang tempat supernatural Bomo punya convention. Ni bukannya jabatan, bukan ceramah agama. So in that sense also, it's like they're telling people to chill lah.
Yeah. Anyway, it was good.
It's just a movie, you know.
So, would you tell people to watch this film?
I would say yes. I mean, it's not like a hard yes, you have to go and watch it or you're missing out. But actually, yeah, I would say go watch it because it's kind of fun. It's a little bit more than, you know, sometimes we say, you've got nothing to do, go watch lah, it's okay. It's a little bit more than that, but it's less than, you must watch it!
Yeah.
In between there lah. Yeah. It's okay, you know?
I've seen some of the reviews about this film and they're very mixed. A lot of people don't like it because they think it's like rubbish. I don't think it's rubbish.
I know the people who think it's rubbish.
I think you should watch this film, actually. Again, not a hard must, but if you do see it on a streaming platform soon or whatever, or if you happen to be in the mall and you manage to catch it at a good time, yeah, it's worth the money for you to pay to go watch it. You can see that people have really put in the effort into it, and there has been a lot of thought put into it also, but they've also made it a point to not make it such a serious intellectual film. So yeah, all in all a good watch lah.
Oh, I forgot to mention that I also like the fact that it's actually full of like Malaysian pop culture. Yeah, but if you are one of those urban folks, you will find it irritating because you know, I don't follow Malaysian pop culture. I only follow Western pop culture.
No, I thought it was cute, right?
No, not you. Like you know, like the the CINTA.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Because I grew up when I was growing up. That song was on music. You know, so like it's So yeah, yes. Okay, so let us know what you think. Go watch it. It's still in the cinemas. It's playing everywhere.
Yes.
You know,
Still got a lot of showings.
Seems like it's doing okay. Yeah.
So go catch it if you can.
Discuss.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Is it really Sampah or
no? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So like this video. Don't like this video. Subscribe to our channel or follow us on all our social media platforms at FAT BIDIN or go to fatbidin.com to get everything. You've been watching and listening to the FAT BIDIN Film Club. I'm assuming I'm Zan Azli.
And I'm Shelley Mustawan.